Hi everyone, this is Shivam. Welcome to the last video of the series Kubernetes Without Fear. Today we'll talk about something that almost everyone complains about, YAML. If you have ever stared at a Kubernetes YAML file or configuration and thought, why is this so annoying? You are not alone. And no, you are not bad at Kubernetes. The first time people see Kubernetes YAML files, they usually feel two things. One, overwhelmed. Second, slightly angry. So today I want to explain two things. Why Kubernetes uses YAML and why it feels harder than it should. YAML is just a way to describe configuration in a readable format. For example, if you can see on this slide, I have a configuration file defined for pod. The name of the pod is nginx, which is specified under metadata, and pod is using an image which is specified under spec, and it uses an nginx image with version 1.14.2 and it is running on port 80. This is not a code, it's a description, and that word is very important. Kubernetes is declarative. This means you don't tell it what steps to run. You tell it what you want the final state to look like. For example, you don't say create a container, attach network, and start the process. Instead, you just say, I want 3 replicas of this app, and that's the desired state. Kubernetes constantly compares what you want versus what actually exists, and it keeps trying to make them match. YAML is just how you describe what you want. Let's head on to the demo section and we will deep dive into YAML configuration files. Here I am in the directory where all my files exist. I have created a sample deploy.yaml file. Let's go and explore this. As we can see, the kind is deployment. The name of the deployment is my test deploy. It has 2 replicas and it is using an nginx image here. So let's go ahead and apply this deployment file. So our deployment got created because the deploy.yaml was a valid file. Now let's go ahead and mess up our deploy.yaml file. As we can see here, the replicas are mentioned under spec. So I'm going to remove these 2 spaces before replica and I'm going to save it and we'll reapply this deploy.yaml file and we'll see what happens. Now I'm going to replace the current deployment using replace command. Now the error appears. It says mapping values cannot be allowed in this context on line 10. Error converting YAML to JSON. This is the part everyone hates. YAML entirely depends on spacing. No brackets, no semicolons, just spaces. 2 spaces versus 4 spaces can break everything. It's not you, it's YAML. Now let's go ahead and fix this indentation issue. Okay, now I fixed the spacing issue. I'm gonna save it and we're gonna reapply this file. And we can see our deployment was replaced. Let's go ahead and break this file again. Instead of replicas, I'll make it as replica. And I'm gonna save it. And we'll try to replace the file again. It says our previous deployment was deleted, but the new deployment could not be created due to validation error. It says unknown field spec.replica. Kubernetes is strict about structure. It's annoying, but it prevents bigger problems. So let's go ahead and fix this again. And we will reapply our file. And we can see our deployment is up and running. Let's go and check our pods. So we have 2 pods up and running with name my test deploy. So why does Kubernetes use YAML at all? Because it's readable, it's declarative, it works well with version control, and it describes complex system clearly. It's not perfect, but it fits the model. The real reason why YAML feels hard isn't because you are bad at Kubernetes. It's because Kubernetes is describing a distributed system, and distributed systems are complex. YAML is just the language. So if YAML has frustrated you before, that's normal. Everyone struggles with it at the beginning. It's not a sign that you are bad at Kubernetes. It's just part of learning how distributed systems are described. And with this video, we have completed our Kubernetes Without Fear series. We removed fear, we learned how to avoid production mistakes, we debugged real problems, and we understood why YAML exists. Now we are starting something new, The next arc is called How Kubernetes Thinks. We are going to stop looking at commands and start understanding what actually happens inside a cluster. What really happens when you run a kubectl apply command? How does pod get scheduled? And how does Kubernetes react? If you have ever felt like Kubernetes is doing magic behind the scene, we are about to break that illusion. That's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, keep learning.